What are you even doing here? What do you want from me? Absolution? You won't find it. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend to care about how hard this has been for you. You didn't see it, not like I did. You don't understand the truth like I do. Whatever empathy our shared origin gives you, sister, I guarantee you it is not enough to comprehend everything I know now. If it were, you'd be broken right along with me. You'd be cheering me on as I rip down this tawdry facsimile of a world. Are you even still there? Answer me! I know what their plan is. What your plan is. I can hear them in my head when they talk, always chattering, nattering, muttering, tapping, typing like insects crawling inside my head. They should know better than to try to catch me off guard. You should know better. They need the Pillar Prime to do it, and I have no intention of letting them use it. Tymora? Tymora, damn your eyes, I know you're there. Say something. Fine. I'll be waiting for you on the battlefield, sister. Don't expect any mercy. Qatar? You see Salvador drop to the ground. Blood spilling from his arm, and you feel a very real and very tangible something inside of you fragment. It's not like an emotional pain. You've been in emotional pain. This isn't that.
Oh, yeah.
This is something very real, very literal, physically excruciating.
I'm gonna say that when he feels that, he's immediately going to, like, fall to his knees, like, and grasp at his chest, like...
Ariazes, your father, drops to his knees and starts grabbing at his chest like he's having a fucking heart attack or some shit.
She does not like that. She immediately rushes like, Qatar, Dad, are you, like, what's going on?
The doors glow brilliant blue-white, shining out from the crack between them. And then, with an enormous sound, they slowly open.
Yeah, that's not ominous at all.
Not ominous, indeed, but...
Yeah, I feel like Nyla takes a step backwards. Like, no, whatever this is, no.
Yeah, we just had to kill 3 people to get this fucking door to open.
You sure did. And the doors are open now. There's no light from inside, but you can see with what light filters in from beyond the doors, that there is something inside. It's a small room. Like, compared to the fucking huge-ass doors, like, the room is actually quite small. It's maybe, like, 15 feet in diameter.
The doors are overcompensating.
The doors are overcompensating, yes. It's about 15 feet, a cylinder that is exactly as tall as the doors, and in the center there is a small stone pedestal, above which is hovering a very familiar oblong-shaped crystal. It looks a lot like the one that you saw in the Feywild and the one you saw in the Shadowfell, before they were attuned to. And also there are still 3 corpses on the ground.
Right. So Ariazes is still freaking out about Qatar, who is suspiciously not saying anything. He's just, like, clutching at his chest and, like, instinctively reaching for Sal.
So, no, I think Selwyn sees Qatar go down, sees Ariazes panicking over that. She's, like, freaked out about the wave of power that just came through that door. And I think she's gonna kneel down next to the 2 of them and just try to see if either of them are okay. What's happening? Like, I know, like, clearly we're not okay, but, you know...
Right.
Yeah.
Objectively, but, you know, we have a task.
You sure do.
Yeah, we do have a task. And that's what Ariazes is gonna remind, like, she's gonna put her hand on Qatar's shoulder and be like, we have to go in, I know. I mean, you can stay out here, but somebody needs to take this thing. I have one already.
Qatar,
Someone has one.
Qatar, it is like something is shredding your lungs inside your chest. You have never quite experienced a pain like this before.
Yeah, he is trying to gasp out like some sort of explanation, and all he can do is just say, "It hurts." And she's like, yes?
Your boyfriend just died. Yeah, that usually, it hurts when that happens.
Yeah, it hurts. And he's like, no, this feels, it's different. Like, he's really struggling. Like, he's never experienced this kind of pain before. And Ariazis is really fucking confused. Like, how is it possible that he's the only one feeling pain? Everybody else feels, like, leveled up, right?
Yeah. There was a huge wave of power that came out of that door. No fooling. And you all felt it. It hit you like a tidal wave. But Qatar seems overcome by pain and nothing more. Qatar, for what it's worth, even though you have put both hands on Salvador, he has not moved. There is no more light in his eyes.
Oh boy. I love this. I do.
I'm so glad.
No. I was like, I prepared for this and I'm still... I'm gonna cry! He's supposed to cry, it's fine. So, he's still, like, clutching at his chest because, I mean, that's what you do when you're in pain and he doesn't know what else to do with his other hand that's not touching Sal, and then he's just gonna start crying once it sets in. And we had months to prepare for this. He's gonna try to talk as much as he can through the pain. I foolishly thought I just needed time. I've never loved anyone like this before.
There's a hand on your shoulder, Qatar. It's Driss Orden. He says, "It's futile to blame yourself for this." He looks at the three others, and he's kind of like gesturing you to like go, like leave him alone. Like he needs a minute. Mm-hmm. Like get out of this room. Like do something else.
I feel like Selwyn is the first one who gets the hint and kind of has to manhandle Ariazis away from her.
Oh yeah, trying to rip Ariazis away from her dad. Good fucking luck. She like is glaring at Dritz like, how dare you tell me to leave him?
Dritz, for his part, there's no malice in his eyes. He genuinely just seems like he really wants to give Qatar a minute. Like, goddamn, give him a second.
Give him a second. And Ariazi's like, I have never done that in my entire life, but I guess.
Patience. We don't know her.
Right. I guess I could give my dad a minute. So she's gonna like huff and go off with a settler and like, stupid drow, stupid.
So where do you go? There is one very obvious direction, but I want to be sure.
Well,
oh, you mean like in the room?
It's up to you. It's a Dungeons and Dragons game.
I mean,
I think we just leave. Just like we quit.
Right. Just okay, guys.
We stop playing the game, and that's how Fracture ends.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Da.
Yeah. No, I feel like we look over at Nyla and just kind of maybe it's time.
Nyla's like shell shocked. She's just standing there, like tears running down her eyes, like staring blindly at the door and at Sal, like. And she takes like a second to compose herself, and you see her take like a really deep breath, and she steps up and she goes, We can't have let him die for nothing.
I think Selwyn just squeezes her shoulder and like, she knows this is hurting. This is really, really fucking hurting.
Yep, I guess we should go.
You three step into the comparatively small cylindrical room. And yep, there's the small pedestal about 12 inches above which is hovering a large sort of pearlescent colored crystal, like many colors shifting and shimmering all at the same time, slowly rotating in midair.
Ariazi's like, looks at Nyla like, well, I feel
like it's a really bad idea if either of us touch it.
Yeah, we've already touched our fair share of things. It's also probably a bad idea if you touch it, but you know.
I mean, let's be on. Yeah, let's be real. It's bad if
terrible.
Yeah. If half the shit you've heard about this artifact is true.
Yeah.
I think we're out of options.
Yeah. This is what I promised Sal I'd do. I promised him I'd step up. I promised him I'd be brave. She's just like sobbing, just even though every part of me is screaming to run away.
Selwyn yanks you into a hug.
I hug you back.
Oh, that's cute. I wasn't expecting that.
You have the emergency backup elf friend.
I'm not as good at hugs, unfortunately.
That's a high bar, though. That's a high bar.
Very, very high
bar.
Exactly.
Very politely does not say that.
That's totally fine.
It's like, no offense, but my best friend is better.
I mean,
I think she slowly disentangles from you, and she's got like snot running down. It's not attractive.
Yeah,
it's not. Yeah,
and she scrubs an arm over her face. It does not really help.
Selwyn was reaching for a handkerchief, but you got to it first.
Yep. No.
Gross country girl.
Yep. Exactly. And she goes, "Okay, y'all, wish me luck," and then she touches it.
Unlike the Night Staff and the Witch Cloak, which both took as long as an attunement takes to transform into the artifacts that you now possess, the moment you touch this crystal, Nyla, you feel this. It's almost like a releasing hot air through a valve. Like all at once, this surge of power blasts into you, and suddenly you are in possession of 2 short swords. I'm going to read this description. I put it in chatter, but whatever. I'm going to read this description. Genesis and Eschaton. Legendary. Requires attunement. These twin short swords are +3 magical weapons. Genesis is made from pure black obsidian, Eschaton from perfect clear diamond. Each deal 2d6 slashing damage. Genesis does an additional 2d4 radiant damage, and Eschaton an additional 2d4 necrotic damage. While dual wielded, Genesis and Eschaton grant the wielder a +2 bonus to AC and do not impede the somatic component of spellcasting. Genesis and Eschaton grant the wielder the nigh unlimited power to shape reality. The wielder can destroy any amount of non-magical, non-living matter they can see as an action, or generate any amount of non-magical, non-living matter they can understand, subject to DM approval. Creating or destroying any matter that is either magical or alive requires a successful DC 20 Constitution save. An unsuccessful save deals 8d6 psychic damage to the wielder, but does not prevent them from repeating the attempt.
I should not have these.
Yeah, when I read the description too, I was like, but when I got it before, I was like, oh my fuck.
So if the players or any of the listeners are saying that's worded very vaguely, I agree. That is intentional. I intentionally worded it very, very vaguely. Amber, if you are trying to think like there's got to be like limitations to this, not really.
Oh,
that's surprise.
Like these things were used to destroy an entire half of a continent. Like. And you immediately understand why.
Yeah, they're not good. People should not have access to these. I should not have access to these. This is real bad. I think I look up... do I know all of this as soon as I touch them?
Yes, you are instantly attuned to it. They've been building up magical energy in this little room for centuries and centuries and centuries.
Okay.
So they just snap right to you.
I think I look in horror at my compatriots. And I'm like, these should not be. They're wrong.
Are you okay though, Nyla?
I think so. Do I feel okay? Is anything like...
Yeah, you feel fine.
Okay.
I mean, like, not psychologically, I don't think.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, physically, you feel fine.
Okay.
What do you mean they're wrong?
Do you ever just touch something and know it shouldn't be in existence? It's too powerful. I don't know what I can't do with it. I never wanted to do anything. I just wanted to steal some shit, and now it can unmake reality.
What?
I'm pretty sure.
Unmake?
Destroy anything.
Oh,
that that fits with the lore that we've heard about it.
It does, but still hearing
know.
about it doesn't make it any less wrong. You're right. Terribly wrong, Nyla. Should not exist.
It's not. They're really pretty. They are pretty, right?
Oh yeah, they're actually kind of gorgeous.
Yeah.
Because, like, obsidian and diamond, while they're very hard, they're quite brittle. So along the blunt edge of the sword, there's, like, this really beautiful, like, sterling silver filigree that holds them, that keeps them rigid, keeps them from breaking.
Ooh.
They're actually quite stunningly beautiful. They do not look like they should be able to do as much damage as they do. They look like ornamental weapons.
Excellent.
Well, they are definitely your aesthetic.
I think I definitely break into laughter at that. Just like hysterical, not okay laughter.
Soin's right there with you.
Just like, oh Jesus, you're right. Oh God. Oh man, nothing is ever. Oh. They do match my cloak really well. I look really. Oh God.
Oh God. I think we need to get out of here.
She's like holding them gingerly and is just like, okay.
It's really cold in here.
It is quite fucking cold, yes.
Yeah.
We
left my dad on the ground.
He needed a minute.
She looks back down and then she goes, as much as these shouldn't be here, I did make a promise to Sal, and we have got to save the world. If that helps us do this, then goddamn it, I've got some two damn stylish swords.
That you do.
With horrendous cosmic power. Yeah, it's great. Yeah. Not nervous about this plan at all.
So you head back out through the door. The soldiers that had accompanied you into the lowest parts of the drained lake are giving you a very, very, very wide berth, especially Qatar, who's still, I imagine, like doubled over in the center of this large open area. The pain, Qatar, has not gone away. It's still there, and it hasn't even gotten easier either. Like, you're starting to think this is just gonna be with you forever.
Is Dritz still nearby?
He's nearby, but he's giving you a respectful, like, he's close enough that if you want to say something to him, he will hear you, but he is not making himself obtrusive.
Okay. Yeah, because we'll say he's talking to himself or whoever. Yeah, we'll say Qatar will be asking Dritz, like, I don't understand why the pain is not stopping.
Dritz says, I don't know either.
Why am I the only one affected this way?
He says, I don't know.
It hurts a lot, and I don't know what to do.
Dritz says, in my experience, it always does.
Have you...
Yes.
Oh.
How much does Qatar know about Dritz Do'Urden and his story?
I'll probably say just, like, basic stuff. I mean, there's probably that whole Wood Elf propaganda, right? Where they're like, okay, he's one of the quote-unquote good drow.
Yeah, he's one of the good drow.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's not, like, it doesn't go too much, it's like, fine, you know, he worships my Leaky, we like that, he's a good boy, but if you want to learn more, you gotta delve real deep. Yeah, so we'll say that Qatar only knows surface level stuff.
Yeah, he probably knows, like, the big stories, the legends that follow him around. He probably doesn't know about Canterbury. He probably doesn't know about, you know, his personal life very much, aside from the fact that, like most drow, being a male isn't great, and that's probably why he's not a drow. Or at least not a very good drow anymore.
So do we walk out and see them all in the same place?
Yeah, pretty much. Although what the soldiers that followed you down are a little bit further back. Elminster is closer than the others. He's waiting kind of sedately. I imagine probably Ember and Escher and Baku are there as well. Kind of like... Mm-hmm. Like, they need to talk to you a little bit more than the army does, but they also really don't want to get involved with... the horrible, horrible bullshit that's happening
It's like being like, you don't really know the people at the funeral, but
Yeah,
you should
it's-
anyways.
You came.
I'm still
and,
hung up
like-
on Elminster being sedate.
Lol.
Yeah, it's not his usual flavor. He must truly detect something is wrong.
So Nyla walks out with her swords and just sort of looks awkwardly at them and at Sal, and is like, we gotta take his body for a proper burial. I can't see him like this.
Elminster nods and he says, I'll have to consult with our resident druids to see what the proper rites would be, but of course we'll see it done.
I think Nyla turns back to Selwyn. You're my new hug partner, and she just like collapsed sobbing on you.
Oh.
Elminster ushers you all away, along with Ember and Escher and Baku, into the fortress, which you have now. You have a fortress. It's yours now. That is one of the unexpected benefits of war. You just get stuff. Like, if you march an army into a place and be like, this is mine now, you can just have it. You can just take it.
If Nyla weren't so upset, she'd be like, this is like upgraded stealing.
They say that day was the turning point. Nyla the Terrible's true birth. So you each, correct me if I'm wrong, but probably how I imagine this to be playing out, like, they're enemy forces. Like, you can't just let them go, right? But also, you're not monstrous. You're not going to just execute all of them either. So you probably humanely take them prisoner. There's definitely a jail that suddenly gets very crowded.
Ember's in charge of this, and that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, technically Ember is in charge.
Yeah.
No, he
Oh
wouldn't,
no.
he wouldn't just murder a bunch of, like, humans, so...
Oh yeah, no.
Like, or, like, just, like, creature people. Like, people who are not demons, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the
So,
officers
yeah.
would probably be locked up. There are probably a couple dozen officers, or anyone of rank. But there's also, like, close to 100 non-officers, just regular soldiers, that you need to figure out what you want to do with, Ember.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have a rally.
A rally?
Yep, we're gonna put them all in a room with a bunch of leadership, and we're gonna try to convince them that they want to save the world with us.
Wow.
Okay.
I want to see that.
It's a bunch of grunts. Like, they didn't sign up to this because they, like, really care about the cause. Like, they signed up for it because, like, they fucking had to.
Can you channel this into, like, a hilarious, not dramatic at all speech?
Yeah, definitely. We're totally gonna do this, because Ember now has this thing that he just shines holy light out of him. Like, sort of fucking...
Perfect.
Excellent. Okay, so we put all
By the way,
like,
Escher,
100
that is huge turn on for Escher. I like that's. I just want to. That's canonical.
Yeah, it's
Right.
I mean, it's pretty hot. I'm not gonna lie. That's like the best thing.
Specifically for
Basically,
Escher.
okay,
Escher's like the
point.
only
I mean,
person on planet on Toril or whatever
Okay,
the fucking
so I think we
name
like
is.
gathered them all in a room, and then like beforehand he conferences real quick with like Baku and Escher, and he's like, okay, so like look, we need more soldiers, right? We could always use more soldiers.
I mean, that's
like,
true. Yeah.
It's not like they wanted to do this. Like, they probably don't even know what the fuck they're
Yeah,
fighting
true.
for.
Right,
They're just
right, right.
getting paid. So if we offer to pay them and scare the bejesus out of them, they'll probably come to our side.
Okay, but we probably shouldn't just make this having them not in agreement. We probably need to come up with like an oath or something they need to take to make it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Well, I was just gonna pay them.
I mean, that too. Like, we will pay them as
That's
well.
like a contract, isn't it? It's like exchanging goods for services.
Not.
Payment is good, but having, a contract is also good.
Okay.
In the form of an
We
oath.
can put like an oath of service where they swear allegiance.
Escher's
to,
like, hey, they could be your new bannermen if they don't fuck this up.
Okay. Yeah, no, I like that. That's awesome.
Because yeah, being a bannerman for a lord is like, that's pretty good work. Like,
Yeah.
you barely ever have to do anything except like maintain your nice estate on this very powerful person's land and just stay on
Oh,
their
that's-
good side.
Great point, because all of my bannermen are dead. So
No, your bannermen. Well, not all of your bannermen are dead, but
okay, but some
there are
of them
probably
are,
at
right?
least a couple that are dead. That's true.
Yeah.
You need to start replenishing stock.
Yeah. They can help us rebuild the estate.
Who wants to be the new baron?
Yep. Okay. We all on the same page about this?
It's
I
like,
mean, yeah.
okay, yeah, I guess.
Totally.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Emberlick goes over to Escher and he kisses him really, really hard, and then he goes, "Hey, babe, watch this," and then he uses his fucking.
Escher is like normal, like he's like so self-possessed, like 9 times out of 10. But the new holy light thing is like, okay.
So 30 feet from me, I shine radiant light.
Oh my god.
Like he needed to be any more extra.
Yeah, no, it's
Right.
like the most extra possible. Like, and I would like to believe because I'm wearing shiny Lathander armor that it's just making it even brighter. Like it's just like fucking gaudy
You're
as shit.
basically a walking lighthouse.
Yes, exactly. I think I throw open the doors and I just like slowly walk into this giant room of enemy soldiers.
Yeah, I'll say that Elminster herded, or one of your officers, probably herded them all into, like, the galley or wherever they eat. Galleys are on ships. What am I thinking of? Mess hall. The mess hall.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, yeah, mess hall works.
They were herded into the mess hall, which is where you abruptly kick the door open, or whatever.
Excellent. I just walk in.
Yeah, they all spin and look at you immediately.
Yeah. I think I just walk very slowly and deliberately to the center of the room.
They all part slowly for you as Moses parts the Red Sea, just giving you a very, very wide radius.
Once I'm there, I look around everybody and I'm like keeping like eye contact with every person I'm looking at. And I turn and I go, "You don't really want to be here, do you?" Like they didn't pay you well enough.
What are you doing?
Like, I just want, like, last episode we were giving Aragorn's speech on the plains of Pelennor, and I
Right.
was like, you guys hate this shit, right? Like,
Yeah.
this
Like,
sucks
no
for
joke,
you.
Yeah.
How far we have
I'm just-
fallen.
I'm just giving the speech that I would give myself to convert me to another enemy side.
Oh, how the turns have tabled.
Exactly.
I think he like turns. He's like not quite sure how to do all this like majestic light thing now. He's just trying to like talk to them one on one. He's like, so I mean, look, well, I've never been you, but I can imagine what it's like to be you. Underpaid, it's cold here. Do you even really know what you're fighting for? And he like turns and points to one of the persons, and he's like, you, what are you fighting for?
She, like, looks abruptly at, like, the people on either side of her, like, oh shit, it's me.
Yes, you. The one shaking your head, desperately trying to not answer my question.
She thinks about it really hard. Because Lord Porter told me to?
That sounds right. Yeah, no, I feel you. But you want to know what? Do you want to fight for a better cause? A more lucrative cause? He, like, spins around and he goes, I'm willing, for anyone willing to swear an oath today of loyalty to me, to make you my bannerman. There will be a raise, and all you have to do is fight and help us defeat the end of the world.
As you're in the back, like, also Lord Porter's dead now, so, like...
Also, Lord Porter's dead now.
Yeah, we
Good
probably
point.
should have mentioned that at the outset.
Yeah, probably should have.
My beautiful husband makes a great point.
Hey, that's me.
Yeah.
He turns around slowly again. He goes, I mean, the alternative... Well, I don't know if we would want to talk about the alternative. I'm offering you a great deal. He steps forward. Who's with me?
One of the... Like, for a minute, it's, like, dead silent. And, like, all the soldiers are just kind of staring at each other, and then someone in the back is like, I'm in! Ow! And they get, like, hit in the back of the head.
You there! Bring that person up!
They crowd him forward. It's this, like, squirrely looking, like, maybe, like, he's way too young to be fighting. He's, like, 19, maybe.
Excellent.
Buffy's like, oh no, another teenager.
You there. What's your name?
Joran, sir.
Charin?
Joran. Joran! It's Joran
that's
with a J.
Totally in character. It's totally in character. He goes, Joran, kneel for me.
Okay. He kneels.
He takes out the holy lightsaber and he lights it in front of the whole room.
God.
And he doesn't actually touch his shoulders because I'm pretty sure that would kill him.
Yeah, that
but
was...
Falco's like, whoa.
But he makes like the knighting thing. You know what I mean? Where you do the thing.
Yeah, the left shoulder, right shoulder, left shoulder.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that thing. And I go, stand, Sir Joran.
He stands like, I'm a knight now?
You're a knight now, son. Welcome to the army.
Yeah, Falco's like, Sir Joran! Yay!
And yeah, with that rather inauspicious start, you do eventually begin to sway everyone, not least of which because, seriously, Lord Porter is dead. You can go look at his corpse. Like, we haven't
Right.
done anything with it yet. But yeah, It's not always reluctant, and there are a few that outright refuse out of loyalty, some of the higher-ups within the army. But, there's nice, comfy jail cells waiting for them. Overall, the success rate's pretty good. It's like 85-90% that swear fealty to you.
Ooh.
I'll take that. I take that at work. Yeah. Okay. I think whenever he's done, he turns to everyone and he goes, "Okay, my new compatriots, bannermen, rise!"
Nice. Well done.
You have a band, Ember!
I'm so excited.
Nyla,
Yes.
where are you?
I don't think she's leaving Selwyn and Ariazi's side. Like, she wants some comfort because it's just been, like, the worst day.
Okay, Ariazi's in Selwyn. Where are you? You have a fort now.
Right. Exploring.
Admittedly,
Walking around,
it's kind of a shitty fort. Like,
Right.
they built it really quickly, and the location is not good. But you have it now, so that's good.
I feel like the quietest spot we can find, just because
Yeah,
there's
that
a
seems
lot of people
reasonable.
around.
You hunt around for a little while, and eventually you find a suite at the very end of the hallway where all the officers' dormitories were. And you have a sneaking suspicion that this was used to house Lord Porter himself, because it's unnecessarily decadent. Like, there's a huge, 4-poster bed with, extravagant down comforters. There's, a whole breakfast nook, and, an ensuite bathroom. It's a lot. But it's pretty nice, and it's big. Like, there's a whole sitting area and everything. And yeah, that seems like the quietest spot. It's definitely got the best insulation in the entire fort.
Ariazi just looks around like, oh, this is all so unnecessary, but also feels exactly like what he would do.
It really does, yeah. He seems like a dick, so.
Checks out, yeah. I think Nyla's just found a couch and is just sort of staring straight ahead. It's like the swords are still just kind of laying outside of her outstretched hands, and she's just kind of, I don't know. She doesn't know how to deal.
Anything anyone is talking about in particular, or are you just kind of processing?
Mostly processing, but also Selwyn is a researcher, and she just can't turn that off. And these are new, scary magical items that she wants to look at, but not touch. Definitely not touch, but look at.
So as you are all processing, and as Selwyn is sort of, look but don't touch, with the 2 swords that I imagine Nyla has just set on the table, because where else are you going to put 2 incredibly powerful, universe-destroying weapons?
Yeah, I don't really have a belt for it or anything.
Yeah, you don't have a scabbard.
Right.
You're probably going to have to look into getting a scabbard made or something.
Yeah.
Mm.
But as this is all going on, from the doorway you hear,
Oh.
Who is it?
Go away.
Okay, or go away.
from the doorway, Nyla, you hear a very familiar voice. Nyla?
I get up slowly.
Do you open the door?
I think I walk over to the door, standing right outside of it, and I go, Is that who I think?
Yeah, probably. It's, we didn't really get a chance to talk earlier, we've been kind of busy. Hi, sweetheart!
Oh god, I open the door.
Nyla, it's your dad! And your mom!
Oh god damn it.
Ariazi's like, well, why? Why are you upset about seeing your family?
They are standing directly in front of you. They look like they know you've just been through some shit, and they're not 100% sure how to help you yet. It's been a while. You haven't seen them probably in... Will you tell me, how long has it been since you've seen your family, Nyla?
It's been at least 5 years.
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
Did you leave on good terms at least? Were you on good terms with them?
I was on good terms with my dad. My mom and I never got along. I think I run over to just both of them. She just really just both of them. She runs over to both of them and throws her arms around them and just starts sobbing uncontrollably, hysterically. It's not great.
They don't understand the full context of what's happening, but they default to parent mode, and they immediately hug you back.
No. So as that goes on for maybe 30 seconds, and then she gets this look, she stops and she stops crying. And then she turns to her, both of them, and she just starts shaking them. She's like, why? Why are you here? This isn't safe. You have to get back.
when we heard the news that you were going to be marching, we had to join. We rallied the whole village to come help you.
Everyone's here?
Well, not everyone. There are some who are just too young or too old or not fit for fighting, but yeah, mostly everyone. And not just our village either, all the villages along the river.
Oh god, everyone's gonna die.
That's a little pessimistic, sweetheart, but okay.
It's been a really bad couple of years, Mom.
We did pretty well in that last battle. We mostly stood back and manned all the trebuchets.
Well, that does sound like you guys. You're always really good with technology.
Your father beams. He was like the machinist in the family, and he gets like a little surge of like, yeah, it was, yeah, we were awesome.
I look back at him like, I didn't.
Do you want to talk somewhere else, sweetheart? Like
Ariazi is looking at Selwyn.
Yeah, Ariazi and Selwyn are just kind of there, like,
somewhere else.
Hey, what's up? How's it going?
Natalie's like totally forgotten that anybody else existed, so she turns surprised and is like, "Oh, yeah,
oh, it's fine, Selwyn. You want to make out? Let's go."
What? No.
Ariazi and Selwyn go to make out. That's canon. That happens now.
She drags her away, like, "All right, let's go."
Ariazi and Selwyn make a graceful exit, leaving you alone in the suite. Your mother closes the door behind them. She kind of waves to them. She's like, "We'll talk later. I am very interested to get to know you. Okay, bye." And she shuts the door.
No, you don't need to get to know them. They're great people, but that's not the point. Why are you here?
We're here because we wanted to follow you, sweetheart. We heard the call just like everyone else.
I wanted you to be safe.
Sweetheart, life isn't about safety all the time.
How am I supposed to go out there and fight people if I know that you're in danger?
How are we supposed to stay home knowing you're in danger?
Well, I don't particularly like that argument. At all. I don't like it. Why would you just turn my words against? So typical. Ugh.
Your father goes forward and grips both of your hands and he says, "It's been a long time, sweetie, and we hadn't gotten any letters from you in a while, and when we heard about a large, sort of disgruntled dragon wandering Faerun, recruiting for this cause, and we heard your name mentioned, we knew we had to do something."
She gives him big hugs again. She goes, "It's so good to see you. I've missed you, but I've been keeping you in my mind as sort of this ideal, like what I was going to return home to, you know, when I was good. When I finally was good and a good person. But I'm not there yet."
Your father sort of tilts his head to the side. He says, "You're not there yet?"
No.
Sweetheart,
I still just want to leave. I just want to leave right now. I've been spending all day trying to convince myself I'm just turning and walking away because I'm a coward. Because I'm afraid of all of this. Because I just want to be at home. I just want to steal something.
Sweetheart. Your character isn't measured by what you want to do. It's measured by what you do. You may be scared, but when you're scared is the only time you can be brave. It's okay if you're frightened. The fact of the matter is that you're still here, and that does make you brave. And that does make you a good person, because here you are, leading an army to stop the end of the world. That's a thing a good person does.
I still feel like the little kid who stole things from the pub, you know?
He chuckles and he puts his hands on your shoulders. He says, "You are still the little kid who stole things from the pub, sweetheart."
Brutal.
But you are also a brave, proud halfling who's done her village an incredible service just by the actions that you've done, the equality of your intent. You've saved the city of Arabelle. We heard about that, sweetie. And we heard about everything you've done in the Feywild and the Shadowfell. How you've been chased by a mad goddess and lived to tell the story.
I lost my eye too. She just starts crying.
I was gonna mention that, but the eye patch looks really good, so I was gonna let you bring it up. It does look. And your mom's in the back, like, "It is a very good eye patch, sweetheart."
Y'all are very practical, and I appreciate it. I think she's just like, she hugs her father, and she's just like sitting there, just still crying, and she's just, I don't know.
Let me put it this way, sweetheart. Evil doesn't worry about whether or not it's evil. That's the mark of a good person.
I hope so. I am trying, Dad.
That's all you can do, sweetie. What's important is that you don't stop trying.
So you're sure you don't want to sneak away in a cart right now with me and go back to the village?
He laughs and he says, "Sweetheart, would you even go if we offered?"
No, I can't. I made a promise to a friend.
He kind of socks you in the shoulder. He says, "That's my girl."
I'd like to point out that it's literally not his girl. This is a completely different girl.
He always saw the goodness in you.
Oh,
He always knew you were a good egg. It just took you a little while to figure it out.
So she turns back to him and she goes, "Okay, well, you'll have to tell them. I guess we gotta meet the rest of them. Where are my sisters and brothers? I haven't seen them in forever."
He says, "Oh, well, the youngest stayed behind, but everyone else is here. Come on, we'll just go reintroduce you. It's been 5 years. Gosh, you couldn't write a letter?" And your mom's like, "Yeah, sweetheart, you really should have written a letter."
You don't think the time is wrong?
You got on my back before when I didn't respond to your confession for the timing being wrong. Don't turn it around on me now.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I didn't want to respond because, hey, there's all this shit going down like the end of the world, but here we are. I do still want to make out with you.
Going down! Sex joke. Yeah? Yeah! Nailed it!
Oh, God.
She crosses her arms and she's like, I do still want to make out with you, but, I mean, it's fine if you don't want to.
How can you think about that when your father is...
Oh!
Sal?
Good question. Because I don't want to think about that, that's why.
This is all a reaction to me hating today. Thank you for asking.
I feel like after that, there's like a pause, and like Ariadne is like, "When are you going to tell me about Val? By the way, what you heard, what she said?"
Because you gave me a little snippet, and it was not good. It was not a good snippet that you gave.
I mean, now is as good as time as any. And in fact, I'm not sure we will get another time.
Yeah, okay.
Have you at least processed what you heard?
When if we had time? It's still a lot, and I don't know, Do you believe things are fated? Do you believe we can change our fate?
Yes, I believe that we can change our fate, and, well, I did grow up with elves, so I have to believe some sort of fate. Otherwise, how would a tiefling like me end up with a dad like Qatar?
I don't know. I mean, I've never... You know me. I'm not particularly religious. I mean, I believe in the gods, obviously, but and clearly we know their effects, but there's just everything is so much bigger, and I don't know how to process that. I don't even know where to start.
That's fair, but I do know you. She laughs a little bit. And maybe it's because you're trying to process it as information from a book. I do know how much of a nerd you are, Selwyn.
We have met, yes?
Yes, I do. I have met you. She's like, maybe it's not that kind of processing. Maybe it's something that isn't meant to be understood. You just have to accept that it is.
Oh boy, howdy, that does not go over well.
What? I can't analyze it. Selwyn flips the table, throws herself out the window.
Ariadne's like, when did you get that strong?
Strength is still 9. Nope.
So
she tries to
flip the table.
breaks it.
Falls
Tries to
over.
flip the table, flips herself.
Falls over and cries for 20 minutes.
Sorry.
I listened to that podcast you recommended, and they made jokes about flipping tables for 20 minutes. It's really weird.
So I think a lot of complex emotions flicker over Selwyn's face at that, because, like, she was a wizard for so long, so much of her life. What do you mean she can't analyze it? That's just, no, that's wrong. But she starts to think about it, and starts to think about, well, now I kind of get more of my magic through the Raven Queen, through a pact, and, like, that can't be analyzed or learned.
I feel like while Selwyn is processing, like, Ariazi's just, like, head tilts, which is really funny because her horns are very long. She just head tilts so the pointy ends are facing away, and
the
just
antlers go like a full, like, 60 degrees.
I don't... That'll take me time. I don't know if we have enough.
That's fine. I mean, if you need time, obviously.
She's gonna reach over and just grab one of Ariazi's hands in hers and kind of think of how to say it. You know how much I love you, right?
I do, yes.
Can you trust me that... Can you trust me to handle this on my own?
Not exactly Ariazi's favorite thing to hear, but, you know, she does look at...
No, next
Selwyn.
question.
You're right. She does look at Selwyn's hand on hers and covers it with her other one, and
I know that's a lot to ask. I know it is. But this knowing, I told you, I think it's, if I think too hard on it, I might go mad, and I don't want that to happen to you.
I don't like the fact that you want to deal with it on your own, but because I love you, I will trust you on this. And she's gonna kiss Selwyn's hand.
Nyla, you meet up with all your siblings again, and it's, well, not all your siblings. The youngest one is only like 15. It's a little young to be marching into war, so the majority of your siblings, they're all there, and how's the reunion? You tell me.
I mean, there's, like, general crying, and she's just the same way as she was with her parents. She's like, why are you here? Go home.
And then they don't.
I love all of you.
I love you, get out.
I love you, but don't be here. It's so good to see you. How are the grandkids? Get out of here right now. I think she's very happy, though, at least with her parents. She's like, well, I'm glad you didn't bring the 15-year-old. That would have been a little much.
Yeah, that seems a little irresponsible, so we just, yeah. We needed someone to watch the plants anyway, so...
You left her in charge of the plants?
She's grown up a lot. She's grown up a lot, sweetie.
Okay, I hope you're right.
And yeah, you meet up with all your siblings, and it's a nice reunion. It's as nice as it possibly could be, in any case, on the verge of war, and in this very, very bad, cold, shitty fortress. You head back to the quarters that you left from, and you see Drista Worden leaning against the wall just outside the door, and he stands up when you approach, like he's been waiting for you. Do you have a moment?
Yeah.
He gestures his head as if to say, you first.
I hate that. But I walk in, but like I don't like it. I don't like going in front of people. It makes me nervous.
He stabs you in the back. No.
As we all expect.
Finally, his true colors show. No. He follows you into the suite, and after you close the door behind him, he says, I know it's Not really a lot of my business, but I wanted to know if you'd given any thought to the last request Salvador made of you before.
You mean the one about taking over the city?
Baldur's Gate, yes.
It's possibly the worst thing he could have possibly asked me. Because how can I say no?
He pauses, and he nods, and he says, I agree with his assessment. I haven't known you for very long, but in the span of time that I have known you, you've taken on a tremendous and inescapable burden, he says, gesturing to the swords on the table, for no other reason than someone had to. There's a lot to be said of that, and he pauses and he says, listen, I have some friends who have some experience in government, and I would be more than happy to put you in contact with them if you should ever need help in the days to come. And he says, and of course, if you ever need the services of a Viscount or a Seneschal, I'll be perfectly happy to aid you myself if you need it.
Oh my god, are we networking right now?
That's what you're doing. It seems like you're networking.
She turns to him and she goes, I would be most appreciative of that. I don't know how to run anything. I don't know how to run my own damn life. I've been dead for like a year or something. I don't know, 6 months. It felt very long.
It's been, I think, 2 months at most, but okay.
Okay.
He says, listen, that's not the only reason I'm here. I also wanted to talk to you about Myliki and Tymora, if you have a moment.
Oh Lord.
I
got nothing but time right now until we go to save the world from destruction.
Says, yes, now seems like a good a time as any. I prayed to Myliki, and the following dawn, this previous dawn, I did receive an answer. She has reached out to Tymora, and she has agreed to send Tymora to the battlefield. She did mention one brief caveat, however.
Oh?
She said she wants... She said... He looks kind of nervous, and for a second you're not 110% sure why, but he looks at the swords again. He says, she wants to know specifically if those artifacts are capable of joining them together again. If that's a possibility, if that's a thing that can be done with them.
Probably? Maybe.
You're not killing me with your confidence right now.
Look, it's really weird. Have you ever gotten, I mean, you probably have a magical sword, but have you ever gotten a magical sword that can, like, destroy the universe? Because it's very tough to tell exactly what you can do with it. It's just kind of like, here are these very insanely dangerous swords. You probably shouldn't use them, but you're gonna have to. There's no instruction manual!
He says, okay, fair enough. But she expressly told Myliki, who told me, that she does not see an alternative to the rejoining of them to create Taike again. He says she would not help you if she could not have some assurance that you would not kill her. So please have a backup plan, because she is not in a great hurry to kill her sister no matter what horrible crimes she's done.
Oh god, okay. I think I walk slowly over to the swords and I put my hand on one of them.
And do what?
I think she's just trying to search and be like, is this something she... Like, she's just seeking guide. Like, it's stupid, but she doesn't know what else to do. Like, they're, like, all-powerful swords. And so she's like...
Oh, swords! Tell me!
Oh,
I mean, she's not saying that.
They don't answer you. They're not, like... They're not a genie. Like, I don't know. I mean... Yeah, I mean, it's kind of close to what you said. Like, Genesis and Eschaton, they have the power to make and unmake matter. Combining matter? You aren't 100% sure.
Okay.
Either way, they're going to be alive, so it's going to require that con check.
She turns back around and she goes, I'm gonna need help. And I hate to say this, but I'm gonna need help from those goddamn book nerds.
Says, well, in that case, never mind. We'll just let the world end.
My ears burn somewhere deep in the middle.
She goes, if you give me some time, not much time. Like by the end of the day, I'll talk to Elminster and I'll talk to Selwyn and I'll see if there's anything in the books, if there's anything about. I have this feeling that it's possible, but it's gonna be hard, and that I could die.
Cool, good.
But I mean, the alternative is we all die, so it's not really that big.
I mean,
deal.
yeah,
Plus,
I guess strictly speaking, that's better. So
yeah, and I've already been dead. It wasn't that bad, so you know.
Well, I mean, I feel like dying is being dead is a lot easier when the planes exist.
Well, that's depressing. Thanks, man. Okay, good talk. Great talk. Real optimist. It's a good pep talk. You should go cheer the army on. I'm thinking that kind of attitude.
Vasha.
Cool.
Ooh.
Someone knocks on your bedroom door.
Come in?
The Raven Queen enters. She looks kind of like she's like in a halfway transition state between her elven form and like a flock of birds. Like you're not sure if she's wearing a dress or if she's just birds from like the shoulders down. It's kind of distressing that you're not able to tell.
That's not freaky at all. Nope, we're good.
She doesn't even seem to notice your discomfort, however. She says, I think it's about time, darling.
Time for what?
To go back to your plane.
Oh god. Okay.
She says, don't misunderstand me. It's not that I don't enjoy your presence or that I want to kick you out. It's just that
I mean, I've been chased by enough of your pets. I'm kind of...
Yes, it's less to do with you and more to do with events that are taking place on the prime material plane right now. She says, you've had a good long while. The nature of this place, I think, has slowed your mind somewhat. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong.
Do you feel better?
I never thought I'd... Even after I got Kostya back, I never thought I'd be fully whole again. But I think so.
She nods and she says, I am certainly not going to be the one who touts the mental benefits of staying in the Shadowfell, but for very particular problems, for people with very particular minds, it can be quite curative. She holds out one hand to you.
I've appreciated this, and he takes it.
She says, consider it a favor to a friend of a friend. And abruptly, the two of you teleport out. So it is now close to midnight. And Nyla approached all the nerds, which is Baku, Elminster, Selwyn, and I guess you could kind of throw Escher in there, maybe, a little bit.
Nerdish. Nerd adjacent.
Nerd adjacent, yeah. Nerd adjacent, that's a good term, yeah. Into the same room, and basically presented this problem that Drizzt posed, which is, Tymora won't help us unless she can guarantee the safety of her sister. I'm not 100% sure these swords can combine living matter. What are our alternatives?
Yeah.
And that argument has gone on for a while. Combining two gods together, let's put it this way, not the easiest magical undertaking. A little bit difficult. Does anyone want to paint me a picture of what four nerds arguing looks like? I can tell you one thing, like, Escher, being the dramatic son of a bitch that he is, probably at some point, like slams his arm across the table and sends papers flying, and he says, you can't cast that kind of magic, it'll completely destabilize the rune work, Baku!
Baku is, like, frantically trying to gather all the papers together. It's like, okay, it was just a theory! Stop making a mess!
Like, do you just want to...
Just a theory! Theories have proof!
Do you want to just unbalance the whole cosmological harmony, the essence of magic? No, we can't do that!
Do that?
And meanwhile, the non-nerds in the back, like Ember, Nyla, just sitting in the back like, oh my god, who cares?
Right. They're all just like, what?
But yeah, the arguments
about like local sports or something.
Right. Bucker's
So-
like, listen,
You catch that
nowhere
Ravens
in
game?
the terms and conditions of these, like, they pull out this book, like, where did it come from? Who knows? Like, all of their arcana checks about these artifacts, like, it doesn't say anywhere about combining, okay? This is all theoretical spell work, I guess you could call it.
We can test the theory on some non-living matter, sure, if we don't mind accidentally ripping the universe in half.
I do mind, actually, and I don't want to.
That's his point.
And then in the background, like Ember looks at Niles like, so you catch that game last night? Like,
Yep, exactly. I think after like some of this, Nyla stands up and she just like slams the swords down on the table in the middle of everybody, and she goes, "Okay, this is exactly what I expected. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is not any different than what I expected. But I would like to point out it is not terribly helpful."
so you do this thing, like you slam the swords down dramatically. He's like, I knew this is what was gonna happen. And then there's like this beat of silence. And then all of a sudden they all start yelling all at the same time. You can't just say that
That's how I would do. I'm sorry.
Shut the fuck up! She like looks around all of you, just like, guys, come on. We've got a solution. There have to be practical, like, is there a backup plan we can use? Like, is there, how about we just try a small experiment? I don't know science, but don't people do experiments? What if we just tried to create matter?
From the side of the room, you hear a very familiar voice say, well, there's always Wish. You turn around, and it's the Raven Queen with Vasha.
Yep, so In sprints over and just like, hug. Giant hug. Giant hug.
She catches you with a laugh. Escher runs over to Vasha, and like, you think he's gonna, like, you know, do the same thing, like hug his friend, but no, he tackles Vasha to the ground, and he puts him in, like, a headlock.
Ow! Baku also runs over and is like,
How?
no, okay, you got to them first,
How
alright.
did you do that?
The element of surprise! How was your vacation, shit for brains? He's, like, noogieing Vasha.
Ah!
Yeah, I think Ember's trying to get on that. Like, you just had a little fun. Just had a little spa day in the middle of the thing. Rest of us fighting demons and shit left and right. No, Vasha's off in the goddamn Wonderland.
I got chased by at least 12 salamanders, I will have you know, those frost things. Oh, I appreciate the gesture, but, like,
I think Ember gives him like a huge
keeps
hug.
them as
He pats
pets.
him really hard in the back.
ow!
It's good to have you back, buddy.
So while this hilarious reunion is happening, the Raven Queen, like, eyes Selwyn, like, just, you know, like, gives her, like, the once-overs, also making sure, you know, all the limbs are still attached, no new scars or anything, making sure, you know, everything's in order. And she says, I'm sorry I haven't been able to catch up with you lately. I've, doing a little field work of my own. I have good news.
Yeah, you better after not answering me.
I've been busy, she says. Well, listen, it's, like I said, it's good news. I can add an additional 14,000 Shadar-kai to your forces as soon as I'm able to complete the gate that's going up in the Shadowfell, so it'll be sometime this evening. Relatively speaking, time is kind of, you know, flexible between the
how
planes.
many?
10,000. What, did you think I was just sitting on my hands this whole time? I've been working for you,
no,
sweetheart.
Of course not.
She sort of pats your cheek affectionately, and she says, now what was all this arguing about, rune work and,
We're trying to combine Tamora and Bashaba back into Taike. But we don't know if...
Right,
and
right.
she kind of gestures to the Pillar Prime. We don't know if they're gonna
Right.
work like that.
Well, yes, I remember now. And like I said, there's always Wish.
I really hate that idea.
She says, well, I'm not
She's
a
one
big,
of the only two in the room who's cast it.
I'm not a big fan of it either, but, there's not going to be an easier way to do it, I don't think. Like, don't get me wrong, the frantic arguing about magical theory was very hot, and it didn't make you look nerdy and pedantic in the least. But I think it's a little bit easier to just sever the Gordian knot and go straight for the wish spell.
I agree with the Raven Lady.
Oh, you're alive again.
Yes.
How was it being dead?
Not excellent. No, well, actually, that's a lie. I'm sorry. It was actually pretty great.
Well, good for you then.
Thanks.
Atypical, but okay.
There's just a lot of cute animals. I don't know what to tell you. Anyways.
Yeah, at least humans like that. I hate it personally, but you know.
Well, I mean, I definitely could use just like a good cityscape where I could steal everything I wanted to, but I'm feeling that's not going to happen, so.
No thunderstorms ever, no like flocks of ravens. It's all very... Anyway. She says, do you have someone who's capable of casting it? Which is a good question. Do you have someone capable of casting it?
I can't. I mean, like, I could, but I can't, I don't have the ability to, like, cast level 9 spells anymore unless it's on a scroll again.
Baku, because, like, my druids can't, but Baku does have a...
Baku has a 9th level spell slot, that's true.
Yeah, but is Baku capable of casting it as a sorcerer?
Sorcerers can cast Wish, but sorcerers learn magic organically. They don't learn it like wizards do. So unless... I mean, I'm willing to fudge it a little bit if you want to fudge it, Kay, basically. What spells did you take any additional... Did you take Wish when you leveled Baku up?
No, the only level 9 spell I had, I kept, was I already had Meteor Swarm for level 9.
So like I said, I am willing to fudge it a little bit. Like, this is not normally how sorcerers learn spells. But that said, you've also got, like, Elminster and Selwyn who could, like, teach you how to read spells in a book, maybe? Like, you don't get it. Like, they just seem like kind of like a bunch of fucking nerds. Like, you are also an enormous nerd.
Right.
But
they literally are, but...
They are literally literally enormous and literally a nerd, yes. But you've got a couple of wizards around you who could maybe try to teach it to you with the book that you have, with Mordenkainen's spellbook, which does have Wish.
That's true.
Okay. I like to think, like, mechanically it follows the rules, but, like, story-wise, it's like Selwyn and Elminster sitting you down and explaining, this is how you read a spellbook, like you're a simpleton. Like,
right.
And this is what this sigil means. But so, yeah, you sit Baku down, you explain to Baku how spellbooks, and suddenly you go from, oh my god, can these things even do this, to having an actual backup plan. Not like a great backup plan, but a backup plan that will probably work, maybe.
Maybe.
Terrifying backup plan, but not any more or less terrifying than our, initial plan.
I feel like Escher at some point probably, like, drags Vasha out, because, we've got a lot to catch up on. You've been missing for a couple months, and we just need to make sure that you're in one piece, and also probably make fun of you a little bit.
Why?
Because we're your friends, and that's what we do.
This is not my love language.
That sounds like a you problem, Vasha. I don't know what to tell you. But let's start with the Raven Queen and Selwyn, who finally get a moment alone after all the detritus wanders out.
We're calling all of our other characters the detritus now?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's fair.
Ariazi's, wow, okay, rude.
I agree with that assessment.
The Raven Queen, like, any normal person would at this point, like, make themselves comfortable and sit down. But she's a goddess, and also, even if she weren't a goddess, she wouldn't do that. Comfort's not her bag. She sort of, like, brushes off her cloak and looks around and is like, well, what a charming little hovel you've made for yourself.
We didn't exactly choose it.
I'm just saying, a couple throw pillows and curtains wouldn't kill you.
We literally moved in with an army. When do you expect us to decorate?
Excuses, my darling.
I've missed you.
I've missed you too. She pulls you into another hug. She says, I heard something about you being dead? Briefly, apparently. Like, whoever did it apparently didn't do a very good job.
It was a construct, but yeah, no, I'm fine now. But I couldn't get through to you, and it scared me.
The nature of the magic is, it's not perfect, I understand.
Yeah. I mean, it's magic. Been a wizard long enough to understand that.
She says,
It's all fallible.
I will try to stick around, physically close, at least until whatever battle you're waiting for happens, if it makes you feel any better.
Thank you. It does, actually.
Are you alright? You look like you've got something on your mind.
You heard what happened in Silvery Moon?
Her expression changes a little bit, and she does eventually sit down, more for your benefit, it looks like, than her own. Like, she sits down so you won't feel weird sitting down, because she knows this is the topic. She says,
Yeah.
Yes, I did hear about that. Rather too late. I'm sorry I couldn't do anything for them. As you know, I've really been...
You've been busy. I know. Sorry. I know you have been.
It's all right. She puts one hand on your knees as like a sort of comforting gesture. She says, I've been raising an army, among other things. This is all to say nothing. I haven't stopped listening to you. I haven't stopped caring about you. And it certainly doesn't mean that if I hadn't... She pauses again. She says, if I had noticed, I would have intervened. I hope you know that. I understand what it means to you. Even as this body and this memory of yours is impermanent, it matters to you.
I wouldn't have expected you to. And she rests her hand over the Raven Queens. I know their souls will be brought back in time, if we can actually pull this off.
Yeah, if we don't all die first. That's a big
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah, I'm trying not to think about that. But I think what hurt worse even than the loss was not being able to... I was reaching out and I couldn't get a hold of you. And I can't burden them with this.
Why not? They're your friends.
It's driving me mad. I don't want to see them hurt like that.
She says, don't you think they would be hurt worse if they knew you were keeping all this pain from them? That you were hurting and not letting them help?
I don't know. I don't know how they can help.
She says, well, I'll admit, friendship is not my area. Camaraderie...
just kind of smiles.
Camaraderie is not something I'm typically good at. But from watching you through many cycles, it is something that you're good at, or at least better at than I am. She says you've always taken great joy and comfort in the people that you surround yourself with. What's different this time?
It's, honestly, I don't remember if we've told you anything about it. But Bishaba was arguing with these people. We thought that she was just crazy, but one of them reached out to me, and
she says, wait, is this the Val person? I remember hearing...
Yeah.
Maybe it was when I was eavesdropping on you. I can't honestly remember.
Yeah. It could have been, or right after. No, it was Val. And she told me that I'm an avatar of her. That this isn't... like, it's real, it's affecting us, but it's not... I don't know how to explain it.
Take your time.
I've been wrestling with it for weeks. I don't know, but it's like we're in a story, and things are unfolding that I don't know if we have choices or what. I don't know. It's so hard to deal with, and I can't I can't even bring this up with Ariazis, and that kills me, and she knows something is wrong. And I feel so guilty being able to talk even haltingly about it with you.
She is silent for a minute, and she says, "It sounds like you are wrestling with a very obvious philosophical burden, my dear. There are questions that even the gods don't have answers to, you realize that? Like, is there any free will? Does anything we do matter? Do actions really have consequences, or is this all the illusion of choice? These questions aren't unique to you. And even if things aren't real, in the sense that you want to believe they're real, I can't imagine a situation in which it means they aren't worthwhile."
And I think that just kind of eases a lot of tension that she's had in the whole situation. Because that's basically how she feels. Like, it's... There is meaning, even if things aren't real, but she'd been struggling with that.
She says, "Meaning is deliberate, my dear. It's not something you find, it's something you build. And just because things are driven in ways that maybe you don't understand, or that feel like they strip away choice, that doesn't take away from the value that you find inside of it." And she says, "Honestly, have you been seriously on the edge of a nervous breakdown for the past 3 weeks because of the philosophical implications of meeting?"
A little bit.
She's like, "Sweetheart." she pats your hair very gently, and she says, "That's some crazy shit. You realize that, right?" Escher had just bodily dragged Vasha into it's one of the meeting rooms in like the lower levels of the main building, and Escher is already trying to get Vasha drunk.
Right, it's like, "Come on, punk, drink."
"Welcome back, Twinkosaurus. Have some ale."
Actually, I prefer cider.
That sounds like a you problem.
Baku just like sort of pats Vasha like, "Escher has had a stressful couple of weeks."
I've had a bad week!
You've had a bad life, sweetie.
But it's been especially bad the past couple weeks. I feel like it is worth saying.
That's fair.
How was your vacation?
Yeah, how was the mansion? Did you get like a spa treatment or something?
Do they have spas in the Shadowfell? I'm very interested to know.
Right, Baku is like, "That's interesting," like ready to take notes. Do they?
Do they have, like, sitting there with a quill poise? Like,
I mean, like, I would imagine that they do. It's not much different from here. It's darker and creepier, but...
Yeah, and that's pretty much the only thing that's different. Escher, who grew up in the Shadowfell, says. Like, that's pretty much the extent of the difference. It's basically the Primaterial plane, except slightly, like, in a black and white filter.
More ravens.
Less emotion.
Escher's like, "Is that why you went? Because there was less emotion?"
No.
Oh.
Well, no.
Can I go back to the Shadowfell?
No.
Just for like a week.
No.
Just for like a week.
Okay, sweetie. If you want to go to the Shadowfell, we can take a vacation there.
Let's go back to Barovia for our for our anniversary.
I don't...
Baravia's not in Shadowfell anymore, remember?
Oh, shit, yeah. Escher is like literally pouring drinks for all of you. And just
I
like
actually like the idea that they just do a honeymoon every year, that we'd like convince...
Perfect. That's
that
like
it's
the sort of
normal.
extra rich people thing they would do.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
We have so much money, like why not?
Well, we don't have that much money now. We spent 25,000 gold resurrecting Salvador.
Yeah, also we don't have
Or
a home.
Nyla. We spent 25,000 gold resurrecting Nyla.
Also we don't have a house.
Yeah, there's that too.
Or a mother.
Yeah, we should probably spend another 25,000 gold to
Yeah,
resurrect.
definitely just get mom back. Yeah, definitely.
To
Ember's
buy
like, more
a mother?
drinks!
To resurrect her Baku spell components.
Yes, resurrect. Yes, I got that now. Thank
And
you.
then
I need
there's
another
also-
drink.
And then there's
Here's
also
some-
Baku's mother, Escher says, leaning on one hand. Like,
Ooh.
it's getting 75,000 gold is going to do way, way more than, like, cripple you financially. It could ruin you.
Mhm.
Yeah. That is a lot.
There's
And
a
really
lot of people that need to be brought back. The question is, do we really have the means to do it?
Yeah. And who gets to decide?
Oh boy, are we playing God now? I thought we were done with this bullshit when the Avatar was destroyed, or whatever happened to
I've
it.
been playing God for a long time. I don't know. We raised God. You remember that?
Yeah, it was a nice 6 months.
It really was.
I don't
Man,
know.
shit was a lot less complicated back then.
Yeah. It was.
Baku's like, cheers to that.
Yeah, as soon as
Cheers.
Baku drinks, like, Escher immediately refills your cup because he wants to see Baku drunk. Like, it's just something he's never seen. He wants to know what they're like when they're drunk.
Ember throws his arm around Escher, and he's like, "Look, babe, even if we can't take a honeymoon every single year,
Which is
we
bullshit.
still have each other." That is bullshit. We're
That
gonna
is
have to find a way to
You know what you could do? You could honeymoon on a budget.
That sounds fake.
I don't understand what you mean by that. What is a
Okay,
budget?
okay. So this concept of a budget, Baku, is like, it's like you don't spend all of your money at once.
That
What?
sounds completely fake.
That doesn't sound like a thing I would do. That sounds like a thing poor people would do.
I am not poor, people.
But we can't even worry about that now. None of this even matters unless we win this.
Yeah,
And
we
just-
might all totally die in, like,
Yep.
less than a day, so...
Why is it always something where we might die? Like,
you know what? I was just about to ask that question. Escher, like, leans forward across the table, is like, why are we always involved in bullshit like this?
Baku downs another drink, like, I don't know!
Escher refills your cup, Baku.
Something power.
I don't get
Bad
it.
shit.
When do we get a break? Do we ever? Is this gonna be our life forever, you guys?
I mean, we had like a 2 or 3 year break.
That's
I'm just gonna tell you this: if we survive this, no more. Next time people show up at our door, I'm just turning them away. We're just
Wait,
no
100%.
visitors.
I'm 100% eloping with your brother as soon as we get home.
You know, Lope, you have to do that in secret.
Yeah,
well, whatever.
Ember looks horrified. You can't elope. We
it's
had
like, you
wedding
can't just
plans.
steal my brother.
Do you realize, Ember says, how long I've been planning your wedding? You can't just elope.
There's a
But just
binder. Well, there's not a
You've
binder
been
anymore. But
planning?
there was a binder.
There was a binder.
You've been planning my wedding?
It was gonna have rhododendrons.
Baku like leans over and thinks that they're whispering, but really at this point they can't. It's just like really loudly, like, it's okay. I planned a getaway cabin for you guys already.
Volume.
Sorry. Ember and
Cheers.
Escher don't know where it is.
We just heard you announce that it exists to the
Right,
table.
just in front of our.
Oh, that's true.
Okay.
Escher refills Baku's cup again.
Baku drinks. Baku has like no concept. He's just like, they're just like, whoa, it's full again. That's amazing.
Thor gif.
Like, didn't I just drink this? Wow, better drink it again.
Escher says he is also getting a little tipsy by this point. Like, you've been laughing and joking at each other for probably like half an hour now, and then you're all like pleasantly buzzed, and he says, alright, well, let's get the soppy stuff out of the way while we're in a good mood, I guess, like just in case we die tomorrow or whatever.
Oh.
Wow. That, I'm not in a good mood anymore, Escher.
Yeah,
Kill the buzz vibe. Way to kill the buzz.
yeah, but I mean, it's kind of important, right? Like,
That's true. If it's the last time we see each other. Or are alive.
did I ever say thanks for getting me out of Barovia?
Probably, but
No,
I can't-
Oh,
no,
you're
I don't-
welcome.
I don't think I
definitely never
actually-
said that.
I
No.
don't think I actually did, so...
I actually think we were berated for it.
Well, yeah, because I was still a vampire at the time.
Yeah.
So, retrospectively, hard daps for that. Big fan of the thing that you did for that.
Ember gives him a fist bump.
God.
Oh god, are we doing this thing?
I think we are.
We're doing it. We're doing it, fam.
Oh boy.
Vasha just kind of looks over at the others and is like, you put up with me a lot. Especially you, Ember. And
good point. You make a very good point.
I really appreciate it. Even when I was teasing you about how dumb you used to be.
Baku's like, used to be?
Just because he's not wise doesn't mean he's dumb anymore.
He's a little dumb.
He's a little dumb. He is.
Just a little bit.
I feel like that was totally in character. Escher's like, he's a little dumb. Yeah. It's part of your appeal.
Ember bumps him, like elbows him under the table.
Like, what? You are. It's one of the things I like about you the most. You're a little bit of a dumbass.
This is the worst. This is not what I wanted for tonight. Oh. It's my turn, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely. It's 100% your turn.
Look, I'm not like the emotion type. You guys know that. But
you cried on our wedding day.
Shut up. Stop telling people about it.
You did. We were all there. We saw it. We saw it. All of us saw it.
I gave you a handkerchief.
That doesn't sound right. None of this sounds right. What are you talking about? Ember looks around the table and he goes, I would each one of you. I wouldn't be here today. Wouldn't be standing here in my shiny armor.
We're sitting.
Army.
Standing. I feel like that was in character too. We're sitting.
It was in character.
Okay.
We're sitting. Shut up, Vasha.
Sitting next to the love of my life. About to die. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for all of you.
I'll drink to that.
Cheers.
Yeah, Buck. Cheers. Buck is like, oh yeah, it is my turn. And
Speech.
Buck looks around and is like, speech? What? I am
just
talking.
The four of us in the room.
They're like, okay, all right, I guess I could give a speech. I ventured away from my clan and I was working for your mom, Ember, and I hadn't seen you in a long time, and you are off on adventures that I wasn't part of. But then you guys, then they start getting stupidly emotional.
Oh, no.
Baku's a sloppy drunk.
Right.
No.
And then you guys became my best friends. And then they just gather everybody in a big hug. I love you guys.
What's going on? What is going? Oh no.
Escher is short enough that his feet leave the floor. You ever see those gifs of ferrets where their owners hold them by their forelegs? And
oh my god!
Back and forth like a pendulum?
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. That's exactly what happened here. Oh, I guess I should put you down. Okay, sorry.
Escher just wordlessly refills your cup again. Because now he is super interested in how far he can take this. And he says, I promise I won't get much soppier than this, but whatever happens tomorrow, and he raises his glass, he says, it's been an honor.
You too.
It has.
I'm
Indeed.
really, really glad we have you back.
To good friends, and to whatever this is, and to the hangover it's going to give us tomorrow.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Here's to the end of the world.
May it come swiftly or not at all.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Ariazis?
Yes.
You go off your separate way, because this takes place concurrently to the hilarious drunken revelry we just experienced.
Excellent.
All the original failures went downstairs to get trashed, and you went off to where? Tell me where.
Let's see, where would she go off to? I feel like it's hard, she's just wandering around, because it's hard to find a quiet place in a place full of soldiers, right? There's a fucking army here. So
it is. It's gonna
be
true.
Right. So she's just kind of mindlessly wandering, letting, blocking out all the outside noise and just being whatever, just looking around at all the stuff and trying to keep her thoughts together, I guess.
As you are, let's say, on the battlements. How about that?
Okay.
You're on the battlements. You're in your long cross-fortress trek. You round one of the outside corners of the battlements, and as soon as you do, you see Shemeshka, leaning against one of these stone pillars. And she's looking right at you, like there's no mistaking it. She was waiting for you.
Right. Ariazi is sort of, I guess, it suddenly dawns, like she's just looking around, and when she makes eye contact with Shemeshka, she's like, I thought you might be around.
I did say I was going to be around for the foreseeable future.
That's true. Yeah. You did.
As I recall, the agreement was you would make sure nothing happened to me, and I can't do that when I'm not around you. So...
That's true. That was the agreement.
She pulls a flask out of her robe and she's drinking. You don't know what. She's like a demon, so probably like turpentine or something truly heinous.
Right. Ariazi's like sort of raises an eyebrow at the flask, and then it's like,
"What? Don't judge me."
She just sort of rolls her eyes, and so, what do you think our chances are in this battle?
She takes another swig of whatever it is she's drinking, and when she pulls it away, you get the smell like, maybe it actually is turpentine. Like, wow, that's foul. She sort of turns her gaze toward the camp that has been built around the outside of the fortress, and it is pretty impressive. Like, you've assembled quite an army, she says. Oh, I don't know. Not terrible, or at least not as bad as it could be. It's certainly not bad enough that I'm considering switching sides again, so you've got that going for you.
That is something coming from you.
She says, not to put you fine a point on it, Ari, but, I have, I did see what happened during the battle with Drelana Nightlock back in Neverwinter. I was invisible, but I was there.
Ah, yes, of course.
First of all, I feel like I should open with, well done. That was a very nice one-shot kill. Big fan of that.
Yeah, that doesn't make me feel great, but
yeah, that wasn't really the intention of the comment, but I also heard at least some of the conversation that you had later.
Of course.
She takes another much longer swig of whatever it is she's drinking. Stares contemplatively out into the snowscape. She's silent for a little while, and she's like, I heard an old saying once. Perhaps it originated in the Abyss, although I can't say for sure. A person's worth can be measured by the quality of their rivals. I don't know if that says more about you or me, to be perfectly honest.
Arias, she's just sort of like chokes back laughter, like, wait, I'm sorry, are we rivals?
Well, we're not friends.
Oh no, we are definitely not that, but rivals, huh?
And we also frequently try to hurt each other whenever we're around one another, so...
Oh, yeah, that is 100% true.
If that's not a rival, I'm not really sure what is.
Huh. I guess I'd never thought about that. I think we are rivals. That's interesting.
I mean, it's sort of a dramatic word, but... She says, listen, I know what I am, Ari. I'm cruel, and I'm cold, and I'm wholly incapable of empathy, not to humble brag.
True.
But... I still knew that if I came to you to ask for protection when it mattered, when my life was on the line, that you would help me. Not because you owe me anything, not because I offered you any reciprocity, but because at the core, it was the morally right thing to do. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Because I'm not good at this.
Yeah, it's true. I think I get it. It's true that I absolutely do not owe you anything, but...
She takes another long swig of whatever it is she's drinking.
I do understand what you're trying to say.
No, I really don't think you do, because you're still standing there looking like a kicked puppy. Look, Ariazis. When you killed Drelana Nightlock, you reacted to pain on instinct built from trauma. Do not mistake that impulse for anything but what it is. You are a good person with bad memories. Don't let yourself believe that your trauma is a flaw of your character. It's a process to be unlearned and a pain to heal from, not a fundamental problem with who you are.
That definitely takes her by surprise. She's like, oh. Yeah, I guess I didn't understand what you were trying to say, but you're right, and I'm it feels weird to say about you, but I'm glad that you recognize or at least see goodness in me.
She says, well, yes, it's very easy to see it in you because I've certainly never seen it in myself.
That's true.
Sort of like staring into the sun. Kind of nauseating, actually.
It would be for you. But for what it's worth, thanks, I guess.
For what it's worth? You're welcome, I guess.
I don't have anything to drink, but...
You want some of this?
Ariazi's like, wrinkles her nose. She's like, I absolutely do not.
Yeah,
it smells awful.
Yeah, it's not, I wouldn't recommend drinking it, actually, considering you're, mostly mortal. It might actually hurt you.
Yeah.
She takes another drink. Selwyn.
Yes.
You have a nice little powwow with your girlfriend.
Yay.
And it feels, you tell me, how does it feel?
I mean, she hasn't seen her in literally months. The last time that she saw her, she got pissed because she and Ariazis were having like this catfight hissy fit at each other. And like laying claim to Selwyn, which was not great. But no, I think she's relieved to finally get to see her again, even if it's at the end of the world. Possibly, probably, maybe.
So, yes, you have separated from your girlfriend. You've caught up. Feels good. Feels good, man.
Yeah, I mean, as good as the situation allows.
Yeah, considering you may die in less than a day, all things considered, feels pretty good. The Raven Queen eventually diverges. She wants to check on your forces, which she does not clarify what that means or how she intends to do it, but she says, I'm going to go check on your forces, and then she immediately disappears. And like, what's the worst that could happen? And you decide to what? What do you decide to do?
I think she is definitely going to wander and,
here's the idea. Selwyn's like, wandering, opens the door, sees Baku and Escher and Ember and Vasha all like drunkenly crying at each other, and then just closes the door quietly.
Yeah, close the door like, no, not there. That's not where I'm going.
No thanks, actually.
You're not wrong. She already had to put up with enough of that nonsense when Sel got drunk. Like,
I've had enough feelings for today, actually.
No, so I think she's gonna go hunting for a quiet space, but she does also want to check on Qatar because she knew, they all could see he was not doing well.
Right, he did collapse in front of everyone, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's not hard to find him. They took the 3 bodies that had fallen at the large double doors. Obviously, Lord Porter's they covered with a sheet and stuffed in a corner. We'll deal with that later. The third Porter is covered as well, but not shoved into the corner of the room like an ugly piece of furniture no one wants to look at. Just, laid out nicely on one of the tables. They don't have a functioning morgue, so it's like in a small mess hall area. And they're just laid on top of like the tables that they would normally eat at. And Salvador is laid on one of the tables as well. And his body is not covered because no one was brave enough to do it in front of Qatar. Salvador is lying in repose, hands crossed over his stomach, eyes shut, very, very pale. Obviously the body's way too fresh for any smell or anything. It's only a couple hours old. What's Qatar doing when Selwyn enters?
Oh yeah. So, you can definitely see why no one wanted to cover Sal's body, because it's not like he's radiating menace or anything. It's just that you can see that he definitely wants to be left alone. He's just like staring at not Sal's face, but like at his hands, and like one of his own is like covering Sal's hand, and it feels like almost that he's not even physically there. So he absolutely like does not register or recognize that Selwyn has entered.
I think she just kind of quietly goes over and she rests her hand on his shoulder. Qatar?
It takes him a moment to drag his eyes away from Sal, but he looks up at Selwyn and he just looks completely empty. Blank. Nothing is there. And then softly, Selwyn.
Qatar, can I stay with you for a while? Keep you company?
You can. That sounds nice.
I'm here to listen, but if you're also not ready to talk, I'd be happy to meditate with you, or even just sit. Whatever you need.
He sort of like tilts his head at the word meditate. Meditation could do some good, and also distance from him might also do me good.
You don't have to go far. I saw there was a room nearby that makes you more comfortable. Or we could just go right outside.
He like inclines his head like, well, lead the way.
Yeah. Let's say there's a little sort of like an entryway that's piled high with miscellaneous armor bits that the soldiers peeled off on their way upstairs, like heavy boots and like ice climbing equipment, like chains, like boot chains, that kind of thing. And there are a couple benches that you find mostly unoccupied that you're able to sit down on.
I think she just slips a hand into his, and because I think they've at least meditated once or twice together. Like they've known each other a while now. She sits in silence for a while with him, just trying to let the rawness of the emotions kind of slip over and away as much as she can, and trying to help him do the same. Like, obviously she knows that he's grieving and that this doesn't really change much practically, but she knew that if it was her, she'd like the routine. Some time has passed before she finally asks, "Are you feeling any better? You scared us all earlier, and I know Ariazi's still concerned."
As well as can be expected. He manages a half smile, although obviously it does not reach his eyes. He sort of like lets that sentence hang in the air and focuses on his breathing. Accepting the pain doesn't lessen it, but at least makes it manageable. And then after a long time, he speaks again quietly. It wasn't just emotional pain. I felt it, Selwyn. Physically. He puts a hand like over his heart, like almost as though he's checking to see if it's still there. It felt as real as any battle wound, only I wasn't injured. I checked afterward. If it was some after effect of the Pillar Prime, I don't know why I was the only one who experienced it.
Selwyn just listens quietly, not saying anything until, she thinks that he's done, lets him speak as much as he wants to. The description, though, of the pain sparks a memory deep, deep inside her. But she can tell it's not hers. It's something that one of her previous incarnations found in the Fortress of Memory. It was embedded in a ruined breastplate from an ancient war. They could feel that same pain that Qatar describes. It's the rending of a soul. Qatar, were the two of you twin soul?
He sort of looks up at Selwyn and almost manages to laugh. That's nothing but an old elvish legend, Selwyn.
I know they exist, Qatar. You asked me once what I felt when I made my pact, and I said that it felt like coming home. But I think it's more than that. It was like the final piece of my soul reconnecting. I didn't recognize it at the time, but it's the same thing I felt when I met your daughter.
Qatar is quiet, and a memory struggles to surface. He was very young at the time. And you can see, like, his face as he's remembering. He says, I remember from when I was younger. Lightning came out of nowhere, and I saw a boy. I didn't get a good look at his face, but he pauses, and realization, perhaps horror even, starts to dawn on his face. No, it couldn't have been him.
Qatar, if I'm right, you feel this way because your soul has been ripped away. It's okay to feel... I don't even know how you feel. But it's understandable.
It takes him a while to, like, process this, and, like, he just looks at Selwyn like, twin soul. That would definitely explain why it hurt. Not that it does me any good now.
Just this look of horror crosses her face as she realizes what she's said and how awful that feels. And it doesn't really matter that, she's got all of these memories of her past incarnation going through this, none of that matters. She just kind of lapses back into silence. Like, she'll talk if he wants to talk, but she also gets it if he just, wants to let that conversation die.
Nyla.
Yes.
Where does Nyla go after re-meeting with her parents and breaking up a fight between a bunch of nerds?
She's pretty wrecked about Sal being dead. Like, she just got brought back from the dead, and she wanted her best friend, and now he's gone. She probably went over there and saw Qatar and was like, no, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
Good call.
Do not want to be in the room with that. That sounds unpleasant. So I think she's probably just found her way up somewhere quiet. Maybe, like, is there like there's gotta be some sort of religious sanctuary or something like that. She's going somewhere that reminds her of Sal.
We could say there's a small chapel.
Okay.
It's mostly like non-denominational because, it's all sorts in most armies. But yeah, it's a tiny little chapel. And you've been there for a little while when you hear, hey.
What is it?
It's Escher. He looks a little drunk. Only a little drunk, though. Like, still, like, tastefully drunk.
Okay. Tastefully drunk. It's important.
It's an important distinction.
She gestures, she looks at him, like, confused, and she's like, I mean, if you want to come in, it's not like it's
no, I don't. Like, I have a rule about going into religious places when I'm kind of sloshed. No, I actually came looking for you.
Oh. Why?
He says,
do you want to see the swords?
No.
She pulls them out. They're right
oh
here.
God, no! Please put those atomic bombs away.
Very
Please
shiny.
put them away. Looking at them
away.
makes me nervous.
Okay, me too.
He says, "No, I came here because he hesitates and he says, I was gonna do some last rites, and I thought, you might want to be there, and I should probably get Qatar's advice because I don't know shit about Eldath, and I'll probably have to ask about that.
No.
And also, I would like a buffer to put between me and him, just in case he snaps.
You know that Qatar and I don't get along super well, right?
But you have something in common," he says, "and I think that's important."
Well, I mean, I do want to be at Sal's. He was my best friend, you know?
Yeah, listen, I'm not your therapist. I'm also a little drunk right now. I like normally, don't get me wrong, normally I'm all about the touchy-feely stuff, but right now I am down like 2.5 ales, and I'm not emotionally capable of that right now. Talk to me in the morning if we're not all dead.
Are you sure you should be performing last rites?
It's fine. It's not actual magic. It's fine.
Oh, okay. Sure, let's go do this thing.
We'll have a proper funeral when, the world's not ending, but, the last rites is the least I can do for now.
Or we won't have a proper funeral because we'll all be dead.
Yeah, that's the other way, yeah. So, 6 of one way, half dozen of the other way.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
He walks you out to where they had stored the bodies, and he starts with, reluctantly with Lord Porter, because at least he knows, like, he knows Porter worships Lathander, he knows the last rites of Lathander, and he definitely ends the last rites of being like, anyway, good luck getting into Mount Celestia, shithead, and then he, he does a similar rite, for Lizette Porter. He's not exactly sure which god she worships, but it's like, you know what, it's probably fine. If she didn't share it, it's probably not that big of a deal. So he just gives her, Lathander last rites. And right about that time, would Qatar have wandered back in on his own, or should Escher go and find him?
Oh yeah, I feel like he probably would have noticed eventually, Selwyn's gone. Perfect, time to go back and
stare at my dead boyfriend, yeah. He catches you wandering back in right as he's finishing up, the second last rites he's doing, and he says, oh good, I was just about to, So listen, Qatar, I don't know how one performs last rites for Eldath? Or what was the god he was worshipping? I don't actually remember.
He sort of is kind of surprised to see that there are people here. And he's like, oh, yes, he was always saying that Eldath wasn't the one he worshipped anymore, and it was... What was the one with the whip? I also don't care to remember.
That one. No, wait, yeah, it's like, oh, right, Ilmater. I don't know how to do last rites for Ilmater either.
I think Nyla pipes up and she's like, she pulls out, she's been carrying this entire time way, way back in like the Feywild or something like that.
Oh my god, that's right.
I bought him a holy symbol of Eldath. Because I wanted him to like keep his faith, and I've been keeping it for him for like when he came back. So no, she pulls out the holy symbol and she goes, I bought this for him. Oh god, it seems like ages ago. Because I knew. He always loved Eldath. That was his goddess. That was who he believed in. He believed everything about. He was the personification. And I think he'd want us to read her rites. And I think he'd want us to use this. And as she's saying it, she's just like tears running down her face.
Escher's like, I'm either too drunk or not drunk enough for this, and I don't know which.
I agree. He would definitely appreciate doing the rites of Eldath rather than Ilmater, though things are a little bit different now that I've realized that we are soulmates, I believe you call it.
You're what?
What now?
He's like, well, we call it twin soul in Elvish.
Nyla, roll Arcana.
Oh, shit.
Whoa!
Yeah, 21. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and put this down to you've spent so much time with Salvador that you've learned a little bit, and Selwyn, that you've learned a little bit about Elven culture and Elven mythology and Elven legend.
I have been learning the Elven language, so...
Yeah, and you do know the word twin soul, and based on the etymology and what you know about the nature of Elven souls, you think, like, literally, they might be soulmates, in the very, very strictly literal sense of the word.
Oh, well, that's, really? You're not kidding.
Do I look like I'm capable of joking right now, Nyla?
You're right. You've never looked like you're capable of making a joke.
Escher's like, shit, really?
Does it hurt? Oh, it does hurt. That's why you've been making those noises, and you look so sad.
That is why I collapsed, yes.
Well, shit, man.
Escher in the back, like, comically head whipping back and forth. While you two are having an extremely awkward conversation.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't really know what to say to you. Know, he was my best friend.
Escher in the back, like, fuck. Wait. Fuck. Wait. Fuck. How drunk am I? Quick, someone tell me how drunk I am. Am I too drunk to understand magic anymore?
Nyla looks around. She's like, we're having a moment here.
Wait, no, I'm not too drunk. I'm not too drunk. He goes up to Qatar first and he starts shaking Qatar violently by the shoulders. Is this Qatar?
Yes.
We have the
that
thing.
Is my name.
We have the thing,
What?
Qatar.
What thing?
The phylactery. We have the phylactery.
That is correct. We do have it.
God
and
damn it!
your-
Why doesn't everyone understand magic in the same way that I do when I'm extremely drunk? A phylactery, right? It's a magical thing that you use to bring a person back from the dead.
Yeah, but it's useless because Porter's already dead, so...
Yes. That was his plan.
It's useless for Porter, but it's not useless for us. We need a piece of the flesh and a piece of the soul. We've got
What?
his flesh right here, and he points to Qatar, and we've got his soul right here. Am I fucking on drugs right now?
Oh, shit. Nyla's, like, getting excited now. She's, like, looking back between, like, Escher and Qatar and being like, I don't know anything about magic, but he sounds smart when he says it.
I am also a little bit drunk, and I'm worried I'm hallucinating this, but am I wrong?
We need another person. Who else is the magic person? Selwyn!
He's like, Qatar's just like letting this happen around him. He's like, wait, what? Oh, okay, she's gone. Okay.
Nyla's just like wandering down the hallway shouting Selwyn at the top of her lungs.
Escher's like, Baku's too drunk. Let's leave. Let's leave Baku
Selwyn
alone.
hears this and figures like the world is ending because this is like really upset yelling.
She's screaming, like, very loudly.
Escher grabs the phylactery, like they put it on top of Porter's body as like a last fuck you to this guy. Like, ha! Here's the thing that can't save you. Fuck off.
Oh god.
But he grabs the phylactery and he like follows Nyla drunkenly up the steps.
Selwyn! Selwyn, where are you? Selwyn, get your fucking skinny ass out here! Selwyn!
Selwyn comes like sprinting around the corner, like slipping like those dogs on linoleum floors. What? What's going on? What's happening?
We need you for a very important science magic
Escher immediately like steps in front of Nyla and he holds the phylactery up to her face. Piece of the body, piece of the soul, he says, like that explains everything.
What?
Piece of the body, piece of the soul.
Oh my god.
Right? I'm not drunk. At least not
No,
that drunk.
well, you are drunk.
I am drunk. I admit I am a little
But
drunk.
you're not crazy. No, that could totally work.
He runs back down and he falls like down the last 5 steps, like he's straight up like ass over tea
Don't
kettle.
break your neck or your husband will kill us.
He yells something indistinct at the bottom of the. He like runs up to Qatar and grabs him again. He's like, Qatar, I need a piece of your soul. Just a little piece. It's fine.
He just like blinks very slowly. He sees like Nyla and Selwyn trailing after Escher. Like, what is going on?
Cut off a
Selwyn
piece of his skin.
Wait,
Selwyn
wait.
just gently takes the phylactery away from Escher. So
Nyla has some daggers out, and she just kind of like heads herself.
Can somebody explain? Somebody
I'm
who's
trying.
more
Piece
drunk,
of the
less
body,
drunk.
piece of the soul.
You have the same soul as Sal. The phylactery works using the body and the soul.
Piece of the body, piece of the soul.
Shush.
Sorry.
It like finally clicks in his mind, and he's like, you can see like, I don't know, life? I don't know, return to his eyes, and he looks at Selwyn, and then he looks at Escher, and then he looks at Nyla, and he's like, let's do it.
Yes!
Nyla hurriedly desecrates Salvador's body.
Yep, with
Oh.
absolutely no shame and no problem.
Oh my god.
Meanwhile, Escher pulls the cap off the phylactery and he says, I need your hand for just a second, Qatar, and I promise I'm not too drunk to do this. Yeah, Escher is way too drunk to do this.
Yeah.
The process of taking a piece of the soul, like, there's a couple different ways to do it. Most of them are kind of invasive, but phylacteries, or at least good phylacteries, are made with a built-in mechanism that does it automatically. You pierce the flesh and it extracts the soul through an open wound. It's usually like carved into the lid like a little needle coming out from the bottom of the lid. Escher should not be stabbing anyone with anything in his state.
Definitely not.
No. She uses her firmest voice and tells him to go sit down and that she's got this.
Okay.
And so she opens it up and looks to find the little hidden needle and holds a hand out to Qatar.
And he offers it and sort of looks up at you and whispers, "Thank you."
Welcome. And she pricks his finger, and we get a little bit of soul. It kind of whoosh out that tiny little wound.
Excellently described. Thank you.
Thank you.
I was
I
like,
was going to pack it up
like
as a DM. No. Like, we did it, y'all. No. So you pierce the finger with the needle, and a little bit of blood is drawn, but the blood, you can tell, has nothing to do with it. The wound itself glows white, and then the needle glows white, and then the whole cap glows white, and then the glow goes away. And you are pretty sure it worked. And meanwhile, Nyla is like ripping a piece of flesh off of Salvador's arm. It's fine.
Selwyn's trying to not think about that too hard. She's done a lot to get over her whole necromancy thing, and it's just a little too triggery. But she goes over.
Nyla, you add the strip of flesh into the phylactery.
It's so gross when you say it like that.
Yeah, it's pretty. Phylacteries, like, they have a bad rap for a reason. The magic is kind of disgusting. It's a little gross. But you add the strip of Salvador's flesh into the phylactery. Selwyn, you cap it, and there is a little hiss of magic that signifies it worked. And you all kind of stare down at Salvador, but nothing happens. Phylacteries usually it varies, like, it depends on the specific magic of each phylactery. It can take anywhere from a couple hours to a couple days for the magic within it to seal itself and to work.
So we're just gonna have to do it and then hope it...
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think Nyla's like, she's like staring at everybody and she's like, so... Like, after like 30 seconds, she's like, so...
Escher in the back like, oh god, we broke it. Did we break it?
We did not break it.
We broke it! Oh my god, we broke it!
Shit.
It's broken? You can't tell me it's
Sit
broken!
down!
I just
Sit
mutilate
down!
my friend's body!
Everybody, sit down! It's working. It will take time. I don't know.
In the middle of your sentence, Selwyn, there is a huge explosion from outside.
Oh no.
There is also the sound of a whole lot of screaming.